Hi people, I'm Modoni.
I'm Caroline.
Diana.
I'm Sally.
And together we are
SOS Dadas.
Hi Sally.
She didn't know what she was doing.
Hello people, we're back and this month we are discussing about singlehood. Yay! So in this session, we're going to unpack singlehood to find out, hey, what is this animal called singlehood? What is it about? So it said that when you're single, everyone around you is hitched, and when you're hitched, everyone around you is single, and they look happy.
Carol, this applies to you. Carol is hitched and the rest of us around her are single.
Yeah, so and then I saw something very funny towards the end of 2018 where a friend of mine on Facebook had this update. I was marked safe during the 2018 pregnancy wave.
What do you mean safe?
Yeah, it's like they did not get pregnant.
In Peter, you.
Oh,
You know that
your
thing
baby
for
is
Facebook,
Peter,
that
a
you-
lady.
in case there's an accident and then you say you're marked, whether you're safe, you're in the
a
hurricane.
yeah.
So she was marked safe in
Yeah,
the
so
wave
so,
of pregnancy.
so I do not know whether we should say the three ladies here were marked safe during the
marked safe.
they were marked safe during the 2018 wedding wave. Anyways,
I think it's been for a long while. That safe has been marked for a while.
Are we to stay safe
Yeah.
throughout?
anyway, to bring us to perspective on this, I'd like to throw a question at Diana. Is singlehood a gift or a curse from God?
Is singlehood a gift or a curse? Wow, to even think that it can be a curse. No. What's the first thing God created when He created? After He created animals and everything, what did God create? He created a single person.
A single man.
Yes. God did not create... You know, sometimes we have this thing, oh, God created marriage first. No, He created
A
single
single man.
people. Then He gifted them with marriage. So for me, God is so concerned about our singleness. And that man had purpose.
Yeah.
He had work to do.
He had a place.
He had a place. He had provision. So when the other single person was created, God spent time with her, because the Bible also doesn't tell us what duration of time this is. Yeah, it's simply, but God, and then when He saw it fit, He brought them together. So singlehood is not a curse, because God created single people first.
And even to add there, He saw it fit, not the man,
Yes,
Adam. He didn't
exactly.
see, Adam did not see.
And neither did Eve see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He saw it fit that
Exactly.
singleness was not what He
Yeah.
thought for them.
So, I mean, for me, singlehood is a gift, because that's where God can definitely begin to use you. Yeah, and to know you, and for you to know God better.
I hear you out in regards to sharing that singlehood is a blessing, and actually I agree with that. So in this generation we have all this pressure for finish university, get married. My question is, what are the things that are robbing people of the precious time and the season that God has granted them as a gift in singlehood?
I think some of the things, I mean, I know there are many things, is we feel we will get joy or happiness when we are with somebody. So our joy and happiness is
pegged on
based...
somebody else.
Exactly. So in your singlehood, you definitely cannot be happy. You definitely cannot be fully. Exactly. So we wait to be married. I like that.
I don't want to be
All by myself
anymore.
So we wait to be with somebody so that we can get a singleness.
Correct.
Life can start. The
Not
second thing,
correct.
basing our success on being with somebody. Some people feel they will not be successful, and that robs your singleness. Meaning,
Lies.
you begin to be mediocre in your singleness, because now you feel, until I'm married, then now we can bring our resources together, build this empire together. Adam was successful alone.
Indeed.
Working in that garden, tending, he was given work. Something else that robs us of our singleness is God. We look at it as a time of punishment. God is sharpening and working on me during this time.
She's in the diamond.
Exactly.
The rough.
am not whole.
I'm not whole. So our lives are always so cowed for, I'm being punished. So until I do good, then I will be rewarded. So marriage is seen as a reward
On what you'll do.
on what I will
Based
do,
on what you
how I'll
did.
behave. So some of us,
Actions, works.
exactly, Christians, perfect purity, see no evil, hear no evil. Kijana kikuda will not look at him, because You know, you want to maintain this stature that
Attend church.
Yeah, so that now
Come
next
on
year,
time.
2019 is my year. God, because you're looking, God will reward you.
Yeah.
We're in what? We're almost in the, you know, we're in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Some of us are like, guy, is 2019 really my year?
And it's always pegged of your ear to leave the waiting room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then something else.
And actually, it's really a big hype because every time, like, you check on Instagram, when you go at the end of the year, it always says the next year, women, you shall be blessed with that man you've been waiting for.
Amen.
And then you're left to wonder, that's it.
Hello. Full stop.
And I think one last thing, I mean, before I hijack this conversation, is something that robs us, we develop skills in our singlehood in preparation for marriage. So I'll be this chapel flipping person. Please let me just
It's
say.
so funny. I actually thought about that.
Exactly. You know, I'll perfect my chapo skills so that when I'm married, we eat good chapos in my house. I will perfect my laundry washing skills. I'll wash the clothes nicely. I'll iron them nicely. Superwoman, so that we are able to be perfect
For him.
For this person who you've not met, you've not seen, you don't know where he's coming from.
Anakula chapo.
Exactly.
Let's
Does
start
he
there.
even know?
Does he even
Trust
know?
me, I love chapos, but I don't know how to.
He could be gluten free.
With this wave of
Perhaps.
this
Why
one
have we
could be-
defined him to be chapos?
He could be lactose intolerant,
Put
gluten
him
free.
around chapos.
He could be raw.
He could be
And for
raw.
all you know, God could be making you a Pauline, eh? Go and preach my gospel.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
So for me, all these
fun.
things. So we build our skills for these people, and for me, all these things, and I know many more robbers of our singlehood.
Thank you so much, Diana. Hey, Sally. Now, people often say Christians are boring.
Please.
Now, I want to hear from you. What fun things have you done in your singlehood that if you project and you're a married person, you'd be like, hey, Maze, I would not have had time to do this, or I would not have pursued this.
There's so many things.
So,
Where do I begin?
prove the world wrong that Christians are not boring.
Where do I begin? Because honestly, I think that connotation that Christians are boring starts with you. Like, are you a boring person?
It has nothing to do with
Yourself.
Christians.
It has nothing to do with
I
Christians.
agree.
A boring person. Christianity doesn't change your boringness.
Yes.
If you're a boring, please hashtag that.
Yeah.
You're not going to become less boring or more boring
Because
because
you become-
based on your Christian status.
I agree.
Yeah. So as an individual, and as we've been talking in the other podcasts, like focus on developing you. And so if you're not focusing on the you factor, the whole you, and it's not in a selfish way, it's in a way so that you can draw closer to God. What are your motives? What are your goals in life? So just disclaimer there, like Christianity does not define who you are as an individual. Like personally for me, I'm just generally an outgoing, outdoorsy person where I'm here, there, not there, everywhere at the same time. So if those who know me, I'm like always getting something getting involved in something that to me actually have a goal. It may look like I'm haphazard, but I actually have goals of what I want to do. And as I said, for those of you now you probably got to know me now, I like serving people. I like being of service to people, making people happy. And so everything I've done, specifically, I'd say the most recent things that I've done that's definitely not boring, is I took an opportunity to volunteer recently in Uganda. So in Uganda, I worked with a great organization called VSO, Voluntary Services Overseas. And it's a great organization, and I got to work in the northern side of Uganda, a place people don't know, called Gulu. Shout out to my Gulu friends. Woohoo! Okay, I miss Ethiopian food from there. Anyway, so we,
food
From northern Uganda.
in
yes.
northern Uganda, yeah. See me on the
That
side
has made so
to know
much
how that
sense.
works. It's so much, yeah. So I mean, we have lots of guys from everywhere. I think the whole world met in Gulu, and so that was fun, and I was able to learn more about myself. I lived alone, kind of like, it was not hard life. I think the image of volunteering needs to change, and it gave me a chance to give back to the community there. Currently, so I came back, and I said I came back to the country because of health reasons, but I did not let my current circumstance of health bar me from doing so. Be resilient as well from being what I love doing. So I love mental health and things to do with mental health. So currently I'm volunteering at a school called Fairmill, and it's specifically for guys with autism, Down syndrome, and issues to do with mental health. And so I'm volunteering, as in keyword volunteering. So I'm not getting paid for that. So, but I got to meet new people, networking, learn more about mental illness within the country. There's some statistics that will scare you on how we do not take care of our people and our brothers and sisters
mental
have
health, yeah.
mental challenges. I think one of the things that I've also been able to do throughout because I've been single for a while, so there's a lot of time there, guys. So yeah, so I would say I've been able to travel the world.
Yeah.
I remember in campus, 3 of us, Carol, Dan, and myself, were in Isaac. Shout out to all Isaacers out there. Yeah, I was also
there for a week.
Yeah,
just
Muthoni
so
was
you
a
know.
friend of Isaac.
Yeah, no,
But
I
there's
was
a
an
big difference.
Isaacer.
There's a big difference between being an Isaker and being a friend of Isaac.
And turning up to
But I
Isaac
did a
parties
project.
with her
But I
friends.
did a
No, you're
project.
Isaac.
Oh, you actually did?
Yes.
Okay, you're an Isaker.
Oh my goodness, this
Okay,
hate
Muthoni
speech.
is catching feelings.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was able to travel the world. My most memorable was living and being in Colombia, the country, not the state. So I got to have an opportunity again. As I said, I love mental health, so I got to travel, I got to work, I got to meet amazing guys
I
and
tell
girls.
you, and you were salsaing.
Anyway, in the Caribbean is what you think it is. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm currently learning sign language. I don't think I would have done this in relation to if I was married. Well, I would learn sign language, but I think the traveling part would be limited because I think also financially when you get married, your money is not your own. It's yours money. It's not your money.
It's your family
It's
money.
yours money. All of you guys together. So I think my finances for traveling, not that I'm some like tycoon somewhere or I have a sugar daddy somewhere, partner. I'm able to make decisions about my money alone when I'm single.
Yes.
More so. It's not that I'm not looking forward to being married, but when you have it, and a lot of married people have also told me, make sure you travel and you get to meet places. I've eaten, and places I've been on that thing in Brazil. I traveled to Brazil.
Yeah,
the Jesus thing,
Jesus statue.
the Calvado mountain. It was amazing, and I've gone to places that I'd love to go. I've learned sign language. I participate in church missions, which I think I could do when I'm married, but I've been able to be my full self. And I guess being able to read and take time to read and days off. I take days of the week off, guys. Yeah, there's sometimes I switch off. I just go out of the week and out of social media because I'm only taking care of me. So clearly, does that sound boring?
Yeah.
It's not boring, Sally, and I think you're the right person to ask this question because looking back to I've been married now for a year and a year and some months. Looking back, for me, the most memorable times about my singlehood was the freedom. I do not see that marriage curtails your freedom. The freedom to choose what to do, and I don't have to consult anyone else. And I remember all those memorable trips that we did when we were single.
To Malaysia.
We went to
Tanzania
Malaysia,
also.
went to Tanzania, went to Uganda together. We had so much fun as single girls. And looking back, I didn't get just into marriage with this very narrow perspective, but I have experienced other cultures. I've been dated foreign men till I'm like, hey, Carol, this time West home is best. Home is best.
Home is best.
So
For
it's
Carol.
been
For Carol. Thank you for that disclaimer.
for me, yeah.
I wouldn't mind going back to Colombia.
So
and get married.
for me, Muthoni may surprise us. He's a foreigner here and there. So it goes back to you choose whether you're going to be boring or you're going to be vibrant. Because the sad thing I think also is most Christians have this holier than thou attitude for, ooh, I'm waiting for Jesus. Ooh, I'm waiting for Jesus. Hear no evil, see no evil. I'm not saying you do evil things, but please enjoy life. Past going to church on Sunday or Saturday.
Pick up a hobby.
Yeah, pick up a hobby, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can keep going on what fun things we've done. So I would like Muthoni to tell us, more serious. Let's move let's take a shift from the fun times. So Muthoni, we're told we keep hearing, it's very important for you to live your singlehood with a purpose. What have you been doing in this waiting period? How are you living purposefully as a single woman?
Mine has still been fun. I don't understand why it's all serious.
No, it can be purposeful but still fun.
Okay, purposefully. First, it was getting direction. Like, what am I doing? Because one thing is, if you're always waiting for something else to happen, you really don't have a plan, right? So I started now thinking about it. I'm in this space. What could I do with my time that doesn't revolve eating, sleeping,
Working.
bed? I mean, basically rewind. It's like you wake up, you go to work, you come back home, you sleep, you continue. And I started feeling like life was really empty. Now, I didn't necessarily wanted to bring another human being in my life in the name of a boyfriend or a husband. I felt like, what else could I be doing with myself that makes sense? So I started looking for charities to work at. I started looking at joining different programs, picking up different hobbies and things like that. So I felt like what I was living was a very selfish life. It was fine, I'm working, but I wasn't bringing back any meaning elsewhere. So I started now helping out, like becoming a moderator for a children's home, see how to be part of that and have other reasons, to be relevant, because literally if you don't watch it, you'll keep doing your cycle. You will wake up, go to work. If you remember to eat, sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it just really needed now adding new different things in my life. So I started now, being deliberate with what I do, like in my kitchen, because I wanted to figure out how to make new recipes and things like that. I wanted to interact with new people. I started
She makes amazing bread.
Yeah. My oven is busted.
And this dengu pie, you guys check it out on our website. This dengu pie recipe.
I'll put up the recipe.
You owe me bread, Mudhoni.
Yeah.
It's okay. By the way, I do. Yeah. Coming soon. So it's just a matter of now trying to figure out what skills you have. And you just, if you keep thinking I'm waiting, because fill up your day with new things. Discover new places, walk to new places, travel to new spaces, interact with new people. I've come to realize I'm even quite close with my sister's friends because now I have time for them in my life. I'm discovering more things about Kenyan artists that I didn't know, that they sing and they sing really well. It's just a matter of those things you normally wouldn't have time for. Do it. And then also learn how to give back. Spend people who you're not in the same place with and learn more about them. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mudhoni. Actually, I want to throw something, a spanner in the works. There is this whole thing of being single. I should just wait to be found. And as I'm waiting to be found, I'm waiting for my other half. Do you guys feel like your halves?
No,
please.
No, you're waiting for your other half.
It's true. And in church, it's always like somebody's coming to complete you.
Yeah.
So all these women, they're like, Diana, what are you waiting for? Because it's like your life is empty when they see you walking into church sitting alone. First may I sit on the right hand pew or third pew, and I always sit. If I'm not seated with Sally, I'm sitting with another girl. So they're like, Aki, they feel
there's
you're not
no
complete
room for a man to come and sit
so
there.
they're like, Diana, so you make yourself a bit available. So you have to position yourself. It's like you're a half orange, half orange seated in the pew, and then imagine this half person is going to come then. Voila, Diana is complete and she's glowing. Orange. And for me, it just makes me feel like until you see me as whole. But first, if I've seen myself as whole, then I will never make it for you. By the way, because after as Carol said, after the baby it will be for. After you get married it will be for. So now. The baby after the baby, no?
Second baby.
Yeah. Then which schools are they going to?
Yes.
The schools there.
Are they graduating?
Exactly.
Then you die.
It's never enough, Carol. We are not halves. We are complete people in Christ. Meeting other complete people in Christ. We're not calling them that they're perfect, Carol. No.
Very true.
Two people are coming, iron sharpens iron. But you cannot be an iron, then you meet a wood. Wood.
It can be half.
Yeah. Imagine if a blunt person comes, who is an iron, and then there's wood. If you hit that, you're hurting each other. The blunt is hurting. But if two irons come together, we're sharpening each other to the glory of God.
And even back to the fact of what the Bible says, and even you alluded to it, Diana, earlier, about like in Genesis, there were two single people who already had their purpose. They were in a place of where they're supposed to execute their purpose, and they had a plan of what they're supposed to do individually. So by the time, and it's actually God who orchestrated this whole thing. It was their gift that God gave back to the single people. So when you say you're there waiting, when you wait, worth the wait, hashtag, it's all these worth the wait things. It's not that you're sitting in a cold room alone in the corner waiting for him to come. Again, positioning yourself is not something that becomes a full-time job, because today at certain stages it becomes a full-time job. And if you're not, every time you have that kasaidai, you meet a new guy, is it what? How do I look?
It must be so tiring.
It's so tiring. So how are you supposed to have fun in your life, if you're always
On the
trying to
lookout.
position yourself, would he be the one? He's talked to me. He bought me tea.
Has
What
he
does
asked for my
that mean?
number? Huh.
What does that mean?
And then
He
we do an
lingered longer.
SOS. We do an SOS. So he bought tea. You guys,
We
what should I
open groups
respond?
like this one. Wink. You guys, I had to throw that in. 10 nil.
To help
You
Sally.
guys, to help Sally. You see, cycle begins.
But look how it's evolved.
Well, that's
Yeah,
but
we're
I
seeing
am
ourselves.
better.
But I do have a solution for what to do when you're waiting.
Yes,
You understand?
Mother.
So because I mean, it's not bad to hope to get married because
it's not
because you have to
bad.
be careful that this so this podcast doesn't come like ati kaeni hapo msitafute. It's not bad to do. But this is someone I listened to and I remember I pointed out 3 things you should do in your waiting period. Number 1, when you're in your single year, get to know God.
Amen.
Because you're alone, right?
Correct.
And it's quiet. So there's no noise from other people and stuff. So take this time to get to know God.
Yeah.
Who he is. And when you get to know who God is, he reveals to you who you are.
Wow.
You understand?
Because he knows you better.
Because he knows you better. Because if you're always in a situation, in a relationship where you don't get to spend time with God and yourself alone, you don't know who you are. And I've noticed situations where I tend to like rub off people easily. So if you talk a particular way, if I spend time with you long enough,
Yeah.
Pick it up.
I start talking like you.
It's true.
So you end up losing your whole identity in this whole relationship. So when you're waiting,
Yeah.
when you're on this wonderful journey, right? Get to know God and then eventually get to know yourself.
Yeah.
And the third thing is, don't be boring.
Please.
Pick up something, be interesting.
Thank
You know, so that when you do meet people, whether it's your future husband or just your future friend, you have something to talk about.
Yeah, not just about Genesis 1 says this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pick up.
Yeah.
Pick up, like for me, we can talk about boxing, we can talk about, skiing, traveling, whatever.
Yeah.
But just pick up, just be interesting.
Yeah.
Learn something new,
Question,
share that.
Would you marry you? Honestly, people don't ask themselves, would you marry you? You're boring, you're just sitting there.
I am not boring.
Ata hakuna
Now would marry me.
Yeah.
Yes, now
Yeah, now would marry me because there's more to my life than just waiting for you to come in and fill the void.
Yes.
No.
to rescue you from your single.
Rescue for what? I'm really pretty much enjoying this because when you realize you've got so much going on, they don't even realize that you're waiting. You don't even wait, you're living life.
And that's the experience that Adam and Eve have. That's the experience that Nani had, Rebecca and
Isaac.
Isaac. They were both not. There was no. First, who saw that?
There was no pursuit.
Who saw that needed? Who saw? It was the father.
It's the father.
Then he said, Eliezer.
Not even sending Isaac himself.
Was
in
Isaac
another
himself
country.
seated somewhere? I am lonely.
He was in
I
another
need.
country
And
doing his
wondering.
work.
And what was Rebecca doing? Busy her work.
Thank you.
Then Eliezer. And when they met,
Yeah.
he was comforted.
Yes. He went to his mother's tent.
Exactly.
And he married her.
Yeah.
There was no question about it.
Like, let's do this.
Yes. And even it goes, there's just one statement I want to add. Like when you're busy doing your thing, when you're busy doing what God has told you to do, God will tell you, look up and check who's with you on the other side of the lane. And that's your person. So we want to find your person. And how do you find your person if you don't know who you are? Like you need to find somebody who complement you. So if you have not taken your time, as Mudhoni is saying, to find out who you are, you basically fall for anything and you look at
That comes your way.
anything that comes your way dressed in what the weight t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm
you know,
telling you.
like you'll wake up and say, what was this? And the worst thing, God won't keep you waiting to give you trash. He will not keep. I believe that thoroughly. Even as I'm single, I do not believe God will keep you waiting to give you trash. So trust in that God. Where is your faith? It should come out there.
It's true.
And actually, this has reminded me 2 very significant things about the waiting. It goes back to there's one thing that a gentleman was sharing with us a couple of years in a youth meeting, and they said, if you think you want to get married, go to sleep first.
Ooh.
Going to sleep first does not mean you literally sleep on your bed. Going to sleep means forget about that topic and surrender it unto God.
Correct.
Let your will be done.
Correct.
I'm going to wake up every day and go to my job and do what God has asked me. I'm going to live my life to the fullest.
Right.
Till God sees that it is fit for me not to be alone. He shall bring my partner.
Amen.
That was the first thing. And then the second thing I remember hearing at a different session was, can you live with yourself? You asked, can you marry you?
Can you marry you?
If you can't get along with yourself, I'm sorry. Who do you expect to get along with you?
True, correct.
Because you have just actually been there to just even learn how to get along with yourself. And you only get along with yourself not by always being in single places where singles ministry is, positioning yourself, but there you get along with yourself first of all by working on yourself and spending a lot of time with God. So ladies, this has been quite exciting, and we can go on and on unpacking singlehood. I'd like to hear from you. What's your last parting shot that you can tell our listeners on something that they can take as a nugget to carry on with life about singlehood? Remembering that we have another upcoming exciting session about thriving as a single in the next 2 weeks.
For me, I would say the way Deborah is introduced in the Bible. I think we discussed this when we did a Bible study. Deborah knew her name, then her gift, then after that, all these things are added unto you. So do you know your name, the one God has given you, and what that means? Only until then can God reveal to you your gift, which ties with your purpose. Then all these things shall be added unto according to his will. So seek ye first the kingdom of God. That would be what I would say.
For me, I feel like every part of your journey is important.
That's true.
Life begins from the moment you're born. It doesn't begin tomorrow when I do this or what happens then. Life is happening now. So if you keep postponing it until something happens, and then when it doesn't match up to what you thought it's going to be, you end up feeling like you've lost so much time. So the best thing I can tell you is do everything day by day, hour by hour, but just make sure you're putting your best foot forward every second.
I like that.
And Sally,
I would just say, are you worth the wait? You yourself. Are you worth the wait? And that means in all its facets. Are you worth the wait? Are you worth the hard work? Are you worth all that? So it goes back. How do you find out if you're worth the wait? Go back to the source. Go back to God. And he will grant you that ideology. It's not easy, but ask yourself every day, are you worth the wait?
Thank you so much, ladies. Actually, I've just remembered that singlehood is a status, and we always are looking forward towards marriage. But however, do you know you can get married within months your husband died? God forbid. I don't wish that for anyone else. So you need to remember that singlehood is a status, that even if your spouse dies, don't carry it as a badge of self-pity. So even when you're waiting upon God, don't carry this thing for I am single as a badge for self-pity. God has created you to thrive in every season of your life. So don't waste your singlehood. Use your gifts for God's glory and also to discover yourself. And God is more interested in your personal relationship with you as opposed to your status, whether you're single or married. And but if Jesus came today, you're not going to heaven based on, hey, married people, hello, let's go to heaven, and the single people were leaving you on earth. No. So work on you and wait upon God. Amen. I can't wait for our next session. It will be really exciting. I'd like to thank our super producer, Billy Black, for the wonderful patience that he has towards us even as we produce this podcast. Other than that, you guys, you need to catch us up on to catch up with us on our YouTube, on our Facebook, our Instagram, and also even you can write to us on even our Gmail. And our handle on all our social media is SOS Dadas. Till next time. Bye-bye.